6 minutes in and we haven't started the podcast episode yet. Are we kidding right now? All right, man. Are we ready? Let me drink some water and then we'll run that intro. What is up, guys? It's your boy Seb, and we are here with Sportswithseb, episode 5, the college expansion edition. All right, here we go, bro. So, we have a lot of college news going around right now in the last week. We have some expansions going on for college sports, specifically with basketball and with football. We have the news of a possible or an expansion, likely expansion, not for this coming season, maybe for the next season, to expand from 68 teams, right, to 78 teams. It's a lot of teams, man. That's for the basketball bracket. And then on the flip side, for football, they are looking to expand from a 12-team college playoff football format to a 24-team, guys. 24 teams, man. That's actually kind of crazy, if you really think about it. But yeah, man. So we got a couple of other things that we also want to talk about. We have FIU specific things that we want to talk about. We have some FIU basketball and football specific things. We also have a little bit of that I want to kind of throw in there. Should we start off with that? Maybe we'll start that off just to kind of breeze through it, just because it's real quick. And then we obviously have NBA playoff talk. Other than that, I don't really have any NFL news right now. Not really anything big happening in the NFL aside from the draft and everybody getting, cuts, getting ready for training camps and whatnot. So nothing huge on NFL right now as of, 5/6/2006. So nothing huge right now to report, but yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So let's go ahead and put Seb in the corner. Let's get our stream up. Our Twitter up. Ooh, do we want to do? Let's do this one first. Let me go to the tweet. Here we go. All right, man. Let's go ahead and put me in the corner. Let's move our stream right here. How's that looking there, chat? Chat, how are we looking here? Oh, man, I hate that I have to zoom out on Twitter because maybe I just make myself smaller. Because I know I want you guys to be able to see it, because on my end it looks a little bit choppy. Oh, you can't even see the whole tweet, bro. Dang, man. Well, if you're following me on Twitter, that means you're watching on Twitter. So that means you've seen this tweet already. So if you don't know, now you know. We have some Canes Hoops news coming your way. We have Trey Donaldson, Malik Renew, and Ernest Udeh Jr. are all heading to the NBA G League Combine. Guys, obviously that the basketball season is over. Recruiting transfer portal for the next season is open. We have all the seniors that graduated last season getting ready for the NBA, draft for the NBA, summer league for the NBA G League, and into the regular season. So we have a lot of basketball starting to come our way, and I was wondering why none of these guys got an invite to the NBA draft combine. Because if you saw that list, I believe there was about 60 to 68 players that got invited to the NBA Combine, and not a single University of Miami player was on that list. Not a single FIU player was on that list, which we'll probably talk about when we get into FIU. But yeah, so I just wanted to give the proper recognition to those guys, man. Trey Donaldson, Malik Renew, and Ernest Udeh Jr. How are you guys liking the new graphic, by the way? W graphic. I spent some hard working time on that. So make sure you guys like it up, show some love. But yeah, man. Oh, you guys can see this little Sportswithseb that I added on the bottom there. But yeah, so we got those three guys. They're gonna get the opportunity to showcase their talents to the NBA scouts at the NBA G League Combine. Obviously, this does probably mean that these guys can end up on a summer league roster at some point. So definitely keep an eye out for those three guys from University of Miami. Now, moving on to FIU basketball. we're going to get into a little bit of the transfer portal action that's been going on for FIU. So I believe Ricardo has the latest. He updated the last couple of recruits that FIU added to their roster. So we're going to go ahead and pull that article up, guys. If you guys aren't already looking at it, let me fix you guys on stream here. If you guys aren't already following, make sure you guys are following along at Sportswithseb, obviously on every single platform, and make sure you guys are also following along with Lemon City on every single platform. This is the company that I write with, the blog that I write with, and they obviously have given me the opportunity to write for FIU, write for UM, and go to a lot of these games. So make sure you guys show some love over there. But if you guys take a look here at the first article, let me zoom out a little bit on here so that way you guys can see everything. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and open up the tracker. I'm gonna adjust you guys here on Twitter. You guys aren't gonna be able to read it on Twitter, bro. So sorry to say it, but yeah, man. So you have the FIU men's basketball transfer portal tracker. We've added a couple guys. We went over these guys earlier in the most recent episode 4. A lot of Daytona State guys ended up committing to FIU. Obviously, if you guys aren't following along already and you're new here, FIU does have a new basketball coach. They got, let me not say what I was going to say. They dismissed former head coach Jeremy Ballard after last season, and they went along and hired head coach of Daytona State, Mr. Joey Cantines. Now, he does come from FIU. He was a former student at FIU. I believe it was 2005, 2006, if memory serves me right. So he is Florida native. He is familiar with FIU. He has roots down here. So that means that, he's going to start recruiting from everywhere, especially from maybe his former team that he used to coach. And that's exactly what's happening. I believe the count right now is up to 4 Daytona State players, right? So I believe it's CJ Hall is the first one. Did we pass one up here? Yeah, Noah Mendy, the second one, and I believe we had 2 more commits recently. Yeah, you have Sedina. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not even going to give it a shot. So I'm going to go with Sedina. Also Daytona State, and I believe there was one more here. Oh no, maybe that was it. Did we not update the other one? Maybe I'm tripping, chat. Maybe I just don't know how to count. But anyways, we have a couple of guys already coming to Daytona State. The count currently is at 3. But looking into some of the guys that we missed the last time that we were on stream for last week, because in this last week we've had 4 commits, 5 commits for FIU. So we're just going to go ahead and run through them real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on these because the last episode, I kind of rushed through a little bit of things, and I like to keep it within an hour, but still kind of go everything that I wrote down. So let's get into it. So we have the first one, Ramon Seals from Kennesaw State. He is a 6'6" guard from Kennesaw. He averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds on 42% field goal percentage and 32% from behind the arc in his 22 games last season. He was recognized as the 2022 Florida 2A District 9 Player of the Year and earned a spot on the all-tournament first team for said district. You take a look at a couple of his stats here. You see the Rising Ballers Network tweet announcing that he went to the portal. But he did post on his own socials that he has committed to FIU. Alright, so we're adding. I don't think he'll be a starter right away. I think he'll probably be someone that comes off the bench just because I think there's a couple of other guys I think Coach Joey's going to probably not favor but give the edge to just because he has history with them. But you'll see as we get into the other recruits that we have. So we have Sedina, also from Daytona State. He's a former player with ties to Coach Cantines, as you guys see. Last season for the Falcons, he averaged 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, guys. That's basically 2.5 blocks. That's some nasty defense right there, all right? 58% shooting. He's 6'11", so he adds some much-needed size that FIU is missing after a lot of players that FIU had last season either graduated or ended up transferring on their own. As you can see, he's fluid, he's athletic, and he's able to defend in space. He can impact shots at the rim and change shots with ease. He's been developing his face-up game and showing flashes of a little bit of a shooting touch. Okay, so we have a very athletic defensive player coming to FIU, and I love that because I believe that is what Coach Cantines wants to build at FIU, a nice, strong defense to be able to defend in Conference USA, because, man, those guys can hoop, bro. And the next one that we have here, we have Corey Coker. He started 26 of his 31 games this past season. He averaged 7.9 points, 2.4 rebounds, and 3.8 assists. He shoots 33% from the floor and 32% from behind the arc. 2004-2005, he was playing with Eastern Florida State College, where he averaged 13 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game. As you guys can see here, he's announcing with the Rising Ballers Network that he is committing to the Florida International University. All right. And then another guy that FIU ended up recruiting, Jalen Payne. He's 6'8", another forward added to FIU's roster. He was previously playing for Daytona. Oh, see, I knew there was another one. So he did play at Daytona State College. It was probably a year prior to this one. But yeah, so I knew I wasn't tripping. So the count is at 4 for former players that was with Coach Joey. So he started in all 32 games. He shot 68.3% from the floor. He scored in double figures 11 times and had a pair of double-doubles this past season. All right, so we add some length. We add some interior defense, again, to the roster. Much, much needed for FIU, so I love that pickup as well. And then one of the last recruits that we have, Jalen Wingfield. He's from Tri-Cities, a true freshman, guys. Another 4-star recruit, the second 4-star recruit for this FIU program. The second in history, by the way, for FIU. FIU's getting another shot with Jalen Wingfield. He's 6'7", small forward who can create offense, compete around the rim, block shots, and defend at a soaring level. So it looks like he's a freshman that can come in and do everything on the floor. He can play defense. He can score at the rim, and he can get to the basket. That's what we needed, man. We needed some guys who can get down and get dirty, bro. Man, I love that pickup. So obviously, you know he's a hooper because he was a former MVP of his team, and he led them to a state championship where he averaged 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. As you can see, Ricardo mentioned, he's physical, he has great footwork, solid hands, and shows a lot of potential. So very excited for Jalen Wingfield to join the FIU program. I'm going to be very excited for next season for FIU. I can't wait to go back on the court and get some shots of those guys and get ready to watch FIU basketball once more. And then now the biggest thing for FIU basketball, or not FIU basketball, but for college basketball in general, it could impact FIU basketball at some point down the road if they can end up getting a spot in the NCAA tournament. But we have another college news, which is obviously the most trending thing right now. I'm trying to get to my page, guys. Sorry. Come on, just get me to my page, bro. Why are you trolling me right now? I can't believe FIU just posted an AI video. I can't believe that, bro. You never thought you would see the day, and it came. Let's see. So I know did I save? I don't think I saved anything on it. Chat. I think we did save something. Nope, we didn't. Alright, so let's look it up. No worries. But I kind of want to have the rules laid out for you as I explain it, so you guys aren't just looking at me. We'll pull up the ESPN. Oh, maybe we need to zoom Please hold. Twitter. Sorry guys, but like I said, bro, I can try on Twitter, but it's never gonna look as good as on Twitch. So make sure you guys are keeping in touch with Twitch. Oh, I gotta zoom out a little bit on Twitch. Oh, sorry guys, sorry guys. All right. Move you guys over a little bit. There we go. All right, man. So here you guys have it. The NCAA has initiated the final steps to expand the men's and women's basketball tournaments to 76 teams. 76? Pretty sure it was 78. He's gonna make me check another source. Hold on, because it said 78 earlier. Maybe I just don't understand my own handwriting. I think that might have been what it is. Yeah. Yeah, chat, I think that might be on me, man. My bad. I can't believe I tried to doubt the great Pete Thamel. What happened to my, There we go. Alright. Anyways. So NCAA, let's try that again. The NCAA has initiated the final steps to expand the men's and women's basketball tournament to 76 teams. I'm going to probably have to do that again, because I need to get the clip right for when we post it, right? So the NCAA has initiated the final steps to expand the men's and women's basketball tournament to 76 teams. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with how the NCAA tournament bracket works currently, there's 68 teams that get entered into the conversation to make the final bracket. The last 8 teams compete for the final 4 spots of the official 64-team bracket, right? So 8 teams equals 4 games. Obviously, the winners, they make the tournament. The losers, they don't, right? That's the way it works right now. So the expansion would make it 12 teams in that I guess that play-in round, you would call it. 12 games and 24 teams a total of 24 teams playing in that expansion, right? So you have the bottom 8 of each region. They'll compete. The winners of that game will get the final spots in the official 64-team bracket. Is everybody with me so far? Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe. Right? So a lot of talk has been around, the NFL NCAA space, where a lot of people are against it. A lot of fans are against it because it rules out a lot of potential Cinderella teams, which we've seen a couple of times. Like we've seen what's a recent team, NC State with DJ Burns. Like, we've had a couple of teams where we didn't think that they would get this far, and they made it past expectations and setting some history for their programs. So they're saying that this can possibly negate that. This will just leave room for more of the power of the teams in the power conferences just taking those last spots and getting their opportunity to make the tournament, the last, couple of teams to get in, instead of being deferred to because, of this, that, and the other, because there was a certain amount already in, or whatever the case is, right? So this does leave a lot of talk of potential, like, losing. How do I word this? Like, I wouldn't say like a loss of ratings, because everybody's gonna watch regardless, but a lot of people, it could make it, not as impactful. It can make making the tournament not as big as an accomplishment as it normally would be. Obviously, it's still, my bad. It's still great to make the tournament. It's still fantastic to go as far as you can in that official tournament bracket. But expanding the teams, you're opening the door for more teams to get in. Does it dilute the worth, the recognition that comes with making the tournament just in general? I don't know. Up for debate, up for discussion. How are you guys thinking about the tournament expansion? Are you guys with it? Are you guys not with it? I don't know. I think I like it, man. I love seeing more basketball. I love seeing more playoff atmosphere basketball. As long as it doesn't take away from having to get rid of some other games or something like that, I'm all for it. Like let's expand the teams. Let's get more guys. Let's get more guys in there to play, show themselves to the other teams, to possible NBA scouts. Let's let the guys get as much light on them as possible, because think about it. After college, sometimes for some players, that's their last time ever going to play professional basketball. You know, outside of the college level, you have China, you have the NBA, you have the EuroLeague, like you have all these leagues, but like some of those guys might not ever make it to those opportunities. They might not get that opportunity. So I would say the more opportunity you can to get on these guys playing basketball, I'm all for it. I'm with it. I don't care what the people say. I'm with the expansion in the NCAA tournament bracket. But that's not the only expansion that's been happening. Okay, there's some other expansion happening on the flip side of the basketball world and football for the NCAA. But you know how I like, if you're a diehard Sportswithseb fan, you know how I like to do my episodes. I like to do it by sport. So we're gonna continue with basketball, but we're gonna move into the NBA. Now, if you guys were with me the last episode, we were still in round one, like a little bit halfway in round one, when we previously met. But now, let me move myself over here, actually. Now, we are in round two officially, right, for the NBA. Oh, let me actually zoom in just a tad bit there so it looks a little bit cleaner when we save the episode. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And then this one, Twitter, I'm sorry if you guys can't see it, but it is what it is. Yeah, so NBA basketball. So the last time we were here, we were a little bit into round one, about halfway, and now we're officially in round two of the NBA playoffs. We have OKC and the Lakers playing game 2 tomorrow at 9:30. We have the Timberwolves and the Spurs playing game 2 tonight at 9:30. I'm definitely going to watch that one. I can't believe the Spurs are favored by 10.5. That's insane to me. I think Minnesota might win another game here in San Antonio. Don't come back at me later if they don't win and be like, oh, this guy doesn't know ball. Chill. All I'm saying is, I like what I've seen from Anthony Edwards. I like the way he was moving in game 1, coming off of that injury that he had in the series before. If he looks that good tonight, like he did the other night, they might go back to Minnesota up 2-0. But let's make sure we clip that so that way when the Timberwolves win, we have the clip, okay? So yeah, we have that game tonight at 9:30. We have another game tomorrow, the Pistons and the Cavs. The Pistons came back versus the Magic in round 1, guys. They came back down 3-1 to win and advance to play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the conference semifinals. If you guys remember the last episode, we were in the middle of their series. I believe it was 3-2. No, it was 3-1. The Pistons were playing game 6 that day. So, or that day or the day after. But yeah, but I said that, I was like, man, like if the Pistons, I don't think they'll come back, but I do think they can steal another game before the series is over. And man, was I wrong. I mean, they did steal another game, but they stole the series, dude. They came back on the freaking Orlando Magic, and dude, it was honestly, it was a great game. It was a great series. I was really enjoying the Cade Cunningham and the Paulo Banchero matchup. It was great stars to see go up against each other. But yeah, so game 2 will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Detroit already leads 1-0 versus Cleveland. And then obviously you have the game that's going on right now in New York. All right, you got the Knicks, you got the 76ers. The Knicks, obviously, they won game 1. The 76ers are playing without Joel Embiid today. In game 2, I believe he had a hip injury or something of the sort going on, so he didn't participate in the shoot-arounds, so he's not going to be able to play tonight. So we'll see if the 76ers can still be competitive, because in game 1, I'm not going to lie, it was not that competitive out of Philadelphia. The New York Knicks came to Madison Square Garden at their own house And New York put it on them, bro. They put it on 76ers. They didn't stop pushing the gas on them all night, and it was great. It was a great game. It was a great game. Jalen Brunson, absolute stud, man, absolute stud. So I do think that the New York Knicks will probably clean this series in 5 games. I don't think the 76ers are going to be able to compete. I was surprised that they beat the Boston Celtics, and honestly, like that to me was crazy, considering the Boston Celtics were winning the championship not that long ago. But maybe it was the Jason Tatum, not being completely back. He was back per se because he was playing, but like he wasn't fully confident in his health and his Achilles. Because remember, guys, he was coming off that Achilles injury from the last season. So it was good to see him back out there playing, though. Nonetheless, hopefully now he has the time to recover, and so hopefully he takes his time, and we'll see him back next season. But that's going to be the western side of things, so let's move myself over to this side because we're going to go to the east now. Oh, oops. Oh, wait, it's actually on the same side. Wow, guys, I'm actually not the smartest person in the room right now, and I'm the only person in the room because we just went over the west and the east, and I was gonna move over to the east. You know what it was? It was because last time we had more series to go over, so it felt like I needed to go over. You know what? You guys know what I mean. But anyway, so I'm gonna give, I guess, my predictions for the rest of these games. I have the Knicks, like I said, winning in 5 games. I don't think Philadelphia will win more than 2 games. I think that they can probably steal one, obviously, at Philadelphia because it's home court, so I do think they can get one. But yeah, I think the Knicks can do that, end that series in 5. I do think the Pistons and the Cavaliers will go to 6. I do like the way that the Pistons came back versus the Orlando Magic. If they can continue that momentum, I do think they can win in 6 games versus the Cavs. So I'm going to go Pistons in 6 for that one. Man, this one's tough because if Minnesota wins tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up winning in 5. I do think Wemby can steal a game just because I think the refs are going to give the Spurs a game. But I don't know, man. I think if Minnesota goes up 3-0, it's a sweep. Right? It's a sweep. But if Minnesota finds themselves 2-1, I think Minnesota wins in 6. Yeah. I'm going to go, my official answer, Minnesota in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sweep. Yeah. I'm going to go with that take. Minnesota in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sweep. Okay? And then the last one, the Lakers and the Thunder. I hate to say it, man. And I love my GOAT. I love my GOAT, LeBron. But if Luka does not come back in Game 3, this series is over. If the Lakers cannot go down 3-0 in this series, obviously nobody can go down 3-0 in this series, but 3-0 without Luka, you're not winning that series. Going down 2-1 heading into Game 4, if you get Luka back, you have an opportunity, but you need to win a game before Luka comes back in Game 4. I said Game 3 because I think he was going to come back in Game 3, but I remembered a report that I read earlier that it looks like he might take a little bit longer. So let's go Game 4. So if we're going based off of Luka comes back in Game 4, if you don't take a game, you're not winning that series, bro. It's not happening. If you can't find yourself at least down 2-1 heading into Game 4 in LA, wrap it up and just go home. And I hate to say, and you guys can barely see it because I moved it. But yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, damn. That means I'm gonna have to do the whole clip again because that means the whole thing wasn't in it. So let's do it again. So we got the Knicks and the Sixers. I do think the Knicks can close out this series in 5 games. So I'm going to go with the Knicks in 5. I'm going to go with the Pistons in 6 games versus the Cavaliers. I do think the Pistons have a lot of momentum coming back from their Orlando Magic series. So I do like Cade Cunningham, and I don't believe in James Harden being a playoff superstar. So I'm gonna go with the Pistons in 6. Minnesota and the Spurs. This one's a little bit tough because I really do think that this game will decide how the series will go. If Minnesota can win game 2, head to Minnesota up 2-0, I would say Minnesota in 5, right? I would say Minnesota in 5. But if the Spurs win tonight and even the series, I'm going to go with Minnesota in 6. Okay? I still think Minnesota wins the series regardless, but the winner tonight will determine how far this series will go. So if Minnesota wins tonight, it's going to be Minnesota in 5. If the Spurs win tonight, I'm going to say the Minnesota in 6. And then the last series, again, another series that's kind of hard to dictate. If you get Luka back for game 4, I think the Lakers have a chance to do it in 7. If you don't get Luka back by game 4, I think it's OKC no matter what. No matter if he comes back in game 5, 6, or 7, like I just don't. I don't see them winning 3 games in a row. And yeah, so I'm gonna go with OKC. As of right now, because we really don't know about Luka, I'm gonna say OKC in 5, man. And I hate to say that because that's my go, but yeah, I'm gonna say OKC in 5. So that is gonna do it for the basketball portion of Sportswithseb. Now we're gonna get into the football portion, and the football portion I have is gonna be, obviously we have the FIU football schedule that came out, and it came out when we did the last episode, but since we were kind of rushing through it, I didn't get the chance to mention it. We saw it a little bit when I was scrolling on Twitter for the last episode, but now I do have the opportunity to go over that with you guys, so I do want to pull that up. Where is my bookmarks? Here you guys have it, man. So let me move you guys over here really quick. Hold on, trying to. All right, we'll move myself over to the right corner over here, and then on Twitter, you guys should be able to see that. All right, man. So we have our new Conference USA FIU football schedule for the upcoming season. This is a new slate of scheduled games that we have. So we have New Mexico State at home on October 7th. October 13th, we go to play at Jacksonville State. On the 20th of October, we come back to FIU at Pitbull Stadium to play Middle Tennessee. Then we go to Liberty on Halloween. Then we come back to FIU versus Missouri State. Then we go to Delaware in November on the 14th to play Delaware. Remember, guys, Missouri State and Delaware are new Conference USA teams. They were with us for the first time. They entered the conference last year. So this is their second year under Conference USA. So a nice little tidbit for anybody watching right now that might not be familiar with Conference USA. Those are the two new members that we have, or I wouldn't say new because, again, they were here last season, but some young teams that are on our conference, that are in our conference with FIU football. So, yeah, we have Missouri State on the 7th at home, and then we have to travel to Delaware to play Delaware on the 14th. And then we'll play another game on the road versus Kennesaw State. Remember, guys, Kennesaw State was at FIU last season. Honestly, I think a lot of these games are the opposite of what we played last season, or the last time that we played them, because maybe we didn't play that team last season. And then we have Sam Houston that we play them at Pitbull Stadium to close our Conference USA schedule on November 28th. Right, so if you guys aren't familiar with the rest of the schedule, this was the old schedule, right? So as you guys can see, we had USF, we had Buffalo, FAU, we had an FCS team, and then the Conference USA roster. Originally, we had LA Tech, and I believe a couple of these games we traveled away or they came to us or whatever the case was. So the change happened in week, I believe it started with week 7. Yeah, so as you guys can see, we now play New Mexico week 7, and we play at home. And then on the 13th, we travel to Jacksonville State, where previously we played Jacksonville State on the 1st, and then we traveled to LA Tech on the 8th. But since LA Tech is no longer a Conference USA team anymore, obviously the schedule got reshuffled. So now we play New Mexico State on the 7th, and then on the 13th we'll play Jacksonville State. So we don't play on the 1st anymore. So I believe that means we have a bye week between the FCS game and the New Mexico State game, if I am doing my math correctly. So yeah, it looks like we do have a bye week between these two games. So after our first 4 games, we'll have a bye week. So we have an early bye week this season. And then for the other part of our schedule, we have we used to play Middle Tennessee and Liberty on Halloween. I believe that more or less stayed the same. Yeah, so those 2 games stayed the same. And then we had Sam Houston on the 7th, Delaware on the 14th, and then obviously we switched Mo State and Sam Houston with the ending games that we had. So November 7th to 28th, they flipped. Still away games. Still home games. Excuse me. For those games, they just swapped the dates that we had. And then Delaware, that stayed the same. And then the 21st, we now play Kennesaw State, and we play New Mexico State early on. So the Kennesaw State is the team that replaces LA Tech on our schedule for this season. And last year, again, they came to play at Pitbull Stadium. It was a good game. That game was a good game. I believe FIU lost that game. But yeah, so this is our official new 2026 FIU football schedule. USF, Buffalo, FAU, the FCS team, LIU, New Mexico State, Jack State, Middle Tennessee, Liberty, Missouri State, Delaware, Kennesaw State, and to wrap the season up, Sam Houston. If I had to give a prediction for our record, I would say, let me see, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think FIU can win 8 games this season, right? So hear me out. So I think we can win versus Buffalo, FAU, the FCS team, New Mexico State, right? That's 4 games already. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat Jack State. We play over there, so we don't have the home field advantage like we had last season. So I'm going to say we drop that game. I do think we can beat Middle Tennessee. We whooped them last season. Liberty is another tough team. I don't think we win that game. So, yeah, that's another. It's an away game. It's on Halloween. Like, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of hype over there. So, I'm going to say we drop that game. So, we're still at what? At 6 games? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're at 5 games right now. So, 5 games right now. So, we are what? 5 and 3. 5 and 3 heading into November, which is not bad. That's not bad. I do think we can beat Mo State. I do believe we can beat Delaware, so you can add 2 more games. So that's 7 and 3 before we go to Kennesaw State. That's another game where I'm not too sure if we can beat Kennesaw State. I mean, they won Conference USA championship last season, right? I believe, or because I know they won the regular season Conference USA championship. Okay, yeah, so it was them. So they did officially also win the bowl for the conference championship for Conference USA. So those are the Conference USA defending champs. We play over there, and they did beat us last season. So I'm going to also say we dropped that game. And I do think we can beat Sam Houston. So that's 8 games right there. Yeah. Yeah. So what is that? That's 8 and 4. 8 and 4 is not bad. 8 and 4 is not bad. I mean, we went 7 and 5 last season, and then we lost the bowl game, so 7 and 6. So if we can finish the season 9 and 5, plus with the bowl win, I'm not too upset at that. I would love to make a run at the Conference USA conference championship, but I don't know if we're there yet. I think we might have one more year before we're officially able to say, like, yeah, we're Conference USA champion contenders. But a lot of upside coming for FIU. I'm excited. I went to their spring game. If you guys didn't watch that episode, I believe that was episode 3. But yeah, so we had the opportunity to go to the spring game. It was a great game to watch. It was super hot outside. But that's football, man, and I love when football's back. I love when FIU football is back. So it was good to be back in the football realm. But then the next biggest thing is the next set of rules that are expanding, right? So do I have that one saved? Yes, I do. So if you guys can see here on my tweets, my Twitter feed. How's it look on stream? Low key, it looks a little crazy. Can I expand this? Thanks. All right, you should be able to see that. Twitter. I want to say you guys can see it, but if not, sucks to suck. Come watch me on Twitch, bro. So the next set of expansion, aside from college basketball expanding to the tournament to 76 games, from the chat. Sorry, I got nervous. My throat was getting dry. I was getting nervous. Anyways, so the next set of expansion is coming in college football. Earlier, it was reported that college basketball was getting an expansion for the NCAA tournament, originally from 68 teams with the first 4. It's looking to be expanded to 76 teams. They're in the final stages of that expansion to 76 teams, and it's going to be a little bit different as far as the first 4. It won't be a first 4 anymore. It's going to be 12 games. It'll be 24 teams competing in a 12 games. It'll be like a preliminary play-in type of deal before going to the official 64 team bracket. So now it's being reported as of today, as of this morning, that the NCAA football, college football, is going to be expanded not to a 16 team college football playoff format, but to a 24 team college football college football playoff format. Yeah, man, 24 teams in the college football playoffs is kind of insane, for a number of reasons. And I think my biggest reason is the fact that they're going to basically get rid of the conference championship games. There's not going to be any conference championship games, and I think that's huge for college football. I think that adds a whole different dynamic and a whole different sense of like recognition that you don't get if you don't make the college football playoff. Aside, at the time it's 12 teams that get in, so there's a lot of teams that are excluded that probably deserve to have a shot in there. But at least, with the conference championship, it gives them some sense of recognition that, they're one of the best teams, maybe not in the entire nation, but in their region. So I'm not thrilled with this new expansion rule like I'm thrilled with the NCAA basketball tournament expansion. I love that idea. But for football, 24 teams, if it means getting rid of conference championships, I'm not for it. I think it definitely needs to be rediscussed, relooked at, maybe cut it down to 16 teams. Just if you're going to add a couple teams, let's make it 16 teams and call it a day, bro. Let's call it a day. The conference championship winner gets the automatic bid, and then everybody else, you do however you normally would do it. Let's get some real ideas in there. 24 teams, I feel like it's just an easy cop out to add more power teams into the college football playoffs, and I'm really not for that, because now it really starts to look like a ratings and money type of thing, and I'm not thrilled at it. And I think a lot of people are like, oh well, the coaches had to have agreed on it too, a lot of these people have to agree on it too. But it's like, yeah, but a lot of these people also have incentives if their program makes the college football playoff. So of course these teams are gonna, or these, I wouldn't say owners because there's no owners like the NFL, but these programs, obviously they're gonna want this expansion, at least the higher end programs, they're going to want the power programs. They're going to want this expansion because it gives them an opportunity to make the playoffs. And so it gives them the opportunity to hit that incentive for the extra money for making the playoffs. So all in all, I'm not excited for it, but I did write down a couple of notes to give a little bit more depth on exactly what we're looking at. So as I mentioned, it's going to be 24 teams. It adds one more playoff round and 12 games. The top 8 seeds get a first round bye. Seeds 9 through 24 play a first round playoff game on the higher seeded campus. Again, it eliminates conference championships. There's one bye week throughout the regular season, so that way it kind of pushes the schedule a little bit. But the committee is going to meet again in the middle of June to discuss more on how to make up the money on not having the conference championship. Because again, there's not going to be a conference championship, so that means they lose out on millions. I believe it was like between $200 to $300 million worth of revenue that they won't normally be getting now, because they're going to eliminate essentially that whole week of conference championships. So they got to find a way to be able to make that money up. Obviously, if you add 24, make it a 24 team playoff, you add a whole other 12 teams, I'm sure you'll be able to make up that money. But another big thing that they were also talking about was that this first round would initially start in the middle of December, which is normally when, or the second Saturday of December, which is normally when they have the Army-Navy game. And if you guys don't know, usually that week and that day specifically is exclusive to the Army-Navy game. It's a tradition for college football, so that way, everybody sits and they watch some college football from the Army and the Navy. But yeah, I guess my biggest thing for you guys is, do you guys like this idea of the new expansion to 24 teams? I'm not thrilled about the 24 team expansion for the NFL. I am not too thrilled on the expansion to 24 teams for the college football playoffs. I am, however, a fan of the expansion of the NCAA tournament, expanding it to 76 teams. So that I'm all for, but for football, I'm not. I do want to know what you guys think. If you guys have any thoughts, make sure you guys let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys can let me know in chat. You guys can hit me in the DMs. If you guys want to talk some ball, and yeah, of course, you guys can just let me know, and we could just chat it up, But I think that might wrap up today's episode of Sports with Seb. I think that might be episode 5 of Sports with Seb. I am going to do another episode. I'm probably going to do this episode. I'm not going to do one next week. It'll probably be on the 20th. I only did one this week again because a lot of news was coming out that, that expansion of the college football playoff, the expansion of the NCAA tournament, FIU with the new schedule that I didn't get to go over last week. A lot of FIU recruits that are now heading to the 305 to play for new head coach, Coach Joey. So it was a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to wait until next week because I felt like that, the time to talk about it would kind of pass. So I wanted to make sure I was, I did the right thing and gave you guys that content that you guys so desperately were asking for in my comment section and my notifications telling me to go live again. So, but yeah, man, that's going to wrap up Sportswithseb episode 5, the college expansion. We're going to catch you guys in the next episode. It'll be on the 20th. I'm going to put out a new graphic. Guys, if you guys don't know, if you guys haven't already noticed, I've been working a lot on Canva. I've been working a lot with the Canva and getting some templates going, getting some graphics up. So I have a couple of new graphics. I actually am just going to show you guys real quick. Oh, look, perfect. This is one of them. So whenever we have some breaking news that Sports with Seb is going to report, I'm going to try and put out this graphic for you guys. So it kind of, it makes it makes it Sports with Seb official. You know what I mean? I was originally going to do the source on here, but I figured as long as I put the source somewhere on here, you guys are going to look. I mean, you guys are going to read this anyways, and you're going to be like, what? And you guys are going to read probably for more. So you guys are going to see the per anyways that has the official, stamp on who reported it. But yeah, so this is one of the new graphics for the breaking news. This is one of the first ideas that I was kind of doing for the recaps on these episodes. So as you guys know, after the episode, I'll post a couple of clips leading up to the next episode of Sports with Seb, to kind of promo, the last episode and kind of get people to watch the next one. So this was one of the graphics that I was working with, but I did learn that if I'm gonna put a video in it needs to be able to fit on Reels. And on Reels, it gives me like the black space at the top here and at the bottom because it doesn't fit the screen entirely. So I have to work on getting another graphic made to, make sure it fills that entire thing. So I'm working on it. And then there was another one that I put out today to announce episode 5 being live. So I'm going to start doing this whenever we start the episode. I'm going to post this on Twitter and post it on Instagram. Just to kind of give, another new look to Sports with Seb and get you guys all included and remind you to get those noties out, to make sure you guys are subscribed to me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram and following me on all these things so you guys can keep up with all of the latest news. And then obviously you guys have the Twitch link on the bottom there. So yeah, that's another graphic that we've been working on. I'm going to have another one posted probably after this episode, announcing that the episode is out, but it'll probably be one of the newer ones that I'm still kind of working on right now. So we'll see how some stuff goes. And again, I have a couple of new graphics that I have that I'm ready to roll out. I'm just waiting for the opportunity to do so. So when the opportunity arises, I will definitely show that to you guys. But until then, that is going to wrap up Sports with Seb. Episode 5, College Expansion. Thank you guys for tuning in. Anybody that didn't tune in, if you're watching this after it's been recorded, I still appreciate you guys for making the time to watch. And let me know what you guys think, man. If you guys have anything you guys want me to talk about in future episodes, any segments or ideas you guys have, shoot them my way, man. I'm always open to some new ideas. So you guys let me know. And we'll go ahead and catch you guys in the next one.